All right, in this video, I'm going to break down the best cold email strategy you can use right now when it comes to, offers and copywriting and, the script writing. So it's not going to be about text setup and all this other stuff. I've got plenty of videos on my channel covering how to set up cold email systems, how to source leads, how to enrich them with AI qualification, all this stuff. This video is really going to be the best type of scripts to run and, offers to run because, the market is sophisticating and the stuff that worked in 2019, 2020, 2021, even like 1 to 2 years ago is not really working as well anymore. And so this video is just going to break down, how to navigate all this. So the first thing is scrapping the guarantees. And when it comes to kind of offers broadly. So you guys, probably seen Hormozi, probably seen people like Charlie Morgan talk about guarantees, risk reversals when it comes to offers, all this or you don't pay stuff, crazy guarantees. The problem is people are becoming numb to this, no matter what niche you're in, whether it's B2B, realtor niche, local businesses, everyone is being blasted with the same kind of or you don't pay guarantees, and it's all become kind of commoditized and just no one believes it anymore. So the main thing with offers nowadays is you can still have a guarantee, but the most important thing is to be specific, tangible, and outcome driven and speak directly to the prospect that you're talking to when it comes to the email that you're sending them and the offer you're presenting them. So with stuff like Clay, we can personalize the outreach specifically to each lead. And I'm not just talking about any personalization, I'm talking about personalizing the offer and the pain that they experience to each lead. So for example, instead of saying we can get you more qualified leads, we can get you more qualified and then insert specifically the industry that your clients, like who you're targeting, want to target. So for example, we could do, because we target agencies, for example, if one of our leads is an e-commerce agency, we can say, if you're missing out on the ideal fit e-commerce brands who are looking for retention, who are looking to increase retention, or if we're looking for scalable growth, we can help you sign 10 of those clients in 90 days. So that's just an example. If you're targeting realtors or medical professionals, if you want qualified meetings with medical professionals, like don't just say leads, don't just say clients, actually use their lingo and actually relate it to their specific industry. And Clay lets you do this on every single row. You'll be able to run AI qualification, you'll be able to scrape LinkedIn profiles and websites to do this minor personalization. So what you want to be doing is broadly, when it comes to offers, scrap the guarantees, you don't need them. Make sure the offer is still tangible, like, outcome driven, specific, and personalized to, each specific prospect, because it's just going to go that much further nowadays because everything that they're getting in their inbox is the same old, we can get you X, Y, Z, or you don't pay, or all these like pay on results, or all this other stuff that people use that is just, business owners are just not stupid. They're getting bombarded with it and just doesn't work anymore because it's just, they've seen it millions of times. It's just a numbing effect. So, scrap the guarantees, but stay tangible. So that's when it comes to the offer side of things. The next thing is short emails. So you only really want to run a 2-step sequence. So a main email, so the opener, and a follow-up that bumps the first email with a bit of a different angle. But the main focus is the first email. You want to make sure it's less than 100 words. Make sure there's no spam words. Make sure make sure it's heavily spin text, because nowadays, even if you have really good deliverability with the text setups when it comes to premium inboxes for Google Workspace or Hypertide for Outlook, it can still have a bad effect if you're just sending the same email to everyone when the only thing you're personalizing is like first name, company name. You really want to add spin tags and randomization to every single email. Very simple way to do this is just use your copy that you've created and just put it into ChatGPT and say, put as much spin tags into this email as possible. Then you put that copy into your Instantly, Smart Lead, Email Bison, whatever you're using as a sequencer. And then from there, you're laughing from there. So that's completely fine. Make sure it's less than 100 words. Don't go, they need to be able to skim it in 8 to 10 seconds. Nowadays, business owners, they're getting so many emails. Doesn't matter what niche you're in, whether it's agencies, especially e-commerce. And even just a caveat with e-commerce, you need to be sending way more volume to even make any of the stuff that I'm talking about work. You need to be sending at least 400, 500 emails a day just to negate the saturation of that niche. Pretty much the rule of thumb is the more saturated the niche is, the more that you'll have to send volume to negate the saturation. But then still, your copy still needs to be good regardless. So you want to make sure you're actually customizing, like I mentioned, to each lead. So if you're in e-commerce, don't just say we can get you 50 to 100K MRR or you don't pay. Just make sure you're saying, use Clay, for example, to scrape the top product on their website, say that you like their top product, and then relate your offer to that specific top product or personalization, saying you can increase the back end sales on that, or you can get more sales from that specific product, or you can increase retention or LTV once people have purchased that if you're an email SMS. So you really want to relate it to the prospect, their company, their website, while keeping it not too nitty gritty, and actually focusing on the outcome still. And then I kind of went off track there, but yeah, like I said, no spam words and heavily spin taxed emails. The final thing is unique mechanisms. So nowadays you really need to have unique mechanisms to make sure that you're standing out again, because not only is the stuff that I've already mentioned important, you need to make sure you're actually standing out in another sense, because anyone can offer an outcome, anyone can promise results. But if you have a unique mechanism, like unique mechanisms work better than testimonials nowadays, because people have been burned by testimonials, they've been burned by guarantees. For example, with us, we frame our offer as signal-based omni-channel systems, or omni acquisition OS, or intent-based systems, some similar stuff that prospects haven't heard before. It's not like we're selling some gold mine, some new crazy thing. It just sounds new, so it gives prospects the idea that it could be new, so they hop on a call with you, and then if you've got a good sales process, you can close them anyway, just with good questioning and good discovery, and pitching away from the pain that they've experienced before. But you really want to have a process that you use and include that in the email. You don't want to go over the top with it. Just literally a unique mechanism with the offer that you can present that's also customized to the lead. So customization to each lead with their specific industry, their specific pain. Whatever you can scrape using Clay, make sure the email's short, no spin tax, no filler words, no garbage, less than 100 words. And then the last thing is making sure you have a unique mechanism with the offer, and you actually book a ton of calls, guys. So we got a 1.5% positive reply rate, and because of all the omni-channel stuff you can do nowadays with warm dialing, SMS, all the different automations, we've been able to convert 60-80% of positive replies. So you can really get 0.5 to 1% appointment booking rates, especially if you're not huge in the market. There's kind of diminishing returns. The more volume you start sending, the more people, the more the industry starts to know about you. But if you're a smaller agency only making 5 to 10K a month, when you do cold emails like this, you can really book a fair few calls, and cold email is so scalable. Now, I've got videos about LinkedIn as well, and other DM platforms like Twitter and stuff. But when it comes to cold email, it really is the simplest acquisition system to get set up and get you booked appointments so that you can close deals. Because LinkedIn is high quality outreach is king on LinkedIn, but you can't really scale LinkedIn. So that's as easy, because you need warm rented LinkedIn accounts, you need all this other stuff, because there's not really that good infrastructure right now to scale LinkedIn volume wise. So that's why this video is just because I know a bunch of you probably running cold email, but when it comes to specific script writing, you can have everything set up, but if your offer's presented in the wrong way, you're not personalizing well enough. And I don't mean just random personalization, I mean customization to their specific problem, and then presenting the offer customized. You don't need to do random personalization about their website that has nothing to do with their business. Because it's fake. People just know it's fake. So definitely don't do that. Make sure it's specific and relevant to their pain. And like I said, you can have a really good setup, but if your offer just isn't positioned well, or if your script just doesn't resonate, then you're not going to book calls. So this is a really important video. Hope you guys got value from this. If you want any other things about cold email covered, put anything in the comments. Questions about cold email, text setup, deliverability, more stuff about offers, anything else really about cold email, just put it in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video about it. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.